You know what? I think when it comes to dating and me moving forward with being coupled, I really think the issue might be me. I don't know. And I'm going to tell you why. But I'm probably not going to mention why until after my story time. So, today is the day that I went to the event that I was talking about over the past 2 videos. Well, not the one yesterday, but the 2 before that one. And I really enjoyed myself. It was so nice. First to just be out, then to be out in good company, then to be mingling with people who are in the space that I am going to be in, flourishing in. I'm speaking it into existence. So before I go more into tonight, I'm just going to start with something I think is a little crazy that happened before I actually got the invite to go to this event tonight. So Wednesday night, when I took myself out to go eat, have good food, have a couple of drinks, just to get out the house, get some fresh air, because I will be bound to this in my bed. But when I went out Wednesday night, I pulled this dress out of the closet because I was going to put this on. But then when I was trying it on, I was like, no. I'm going to go ahead and take this off because I'm going to have somewhere better to wear it to. So I took out the dress, then I changed it into, my hot pink dress. Fast forward, went out, had my drinks, had my food. I come back home. On my way home, I get the call with the invite. So I'm just like, that's crazy. Stuff like that, when stuff like that happens, it's so crazy to me. I literally had that thought and didn't think nothing of it, wasn't too attached to it. Same night, get a call, invite, bam, the place where I wear the dress. But anyway, so, and my date matched me, so that was good too. But, so yeah, so we went out to the event with the conversationalist, and I like that she used that word because I've always described, not always publicly, but I've always described myself as a conversationalist. So when I heard her say that, I was like, yeah, I'm here with my people. So let's see. I didn't know, I knew a few of the people that was going to be there. It was like a private event. I think her name is Chantel. I don't know the correct pronunciation of her name. I think it's Chantel or either Chanel Scott. And I think she's like a TV host. She has her own show, and she was the one who was moderating the conversationalist that was speaking tonight. And one of the conversations that was on the panel, she said she had to speak, but I didn't know that she was going to be, when I met her before getting to the location that the event took place at, I did not know who she was, and I still really don't know who she is. I have to go look her up. But we was just standing there having casual conversation. Like the guy that I was out with, he's like, I think he was talking about his social battery, so it sounds like he's an introvert, but you won't be able to tell that by the way he is. He's very sociable, very extroverted. Like he was the one starting up conversations with everybody while we was together. So I don't know. Maybe he's an ambivert, ultravert. I don't know. But he was, and then he's like a comedian, so he was, talking, making everybody laugh and stuff like that. So he kind of did that with her. She was just standing there, and then he just, sparked up a conversation with her. Come to find out, she was on a show called Put a Ring on It, and so we were just standing there talking to her and her husband. not me not knowing who he didn't even know who she was either. We didn't know until they come close to the end of the night, and she was one of the conversationalists on the panel, along with Tyler Lepley. And if you don't know who that is, that's the guy that played in the movie that just came out, Boaz, and he also played in The Haves and Have Not and P-Valley. He played in those. Those are just some big ones he played in. He played in some other things, but those are just the three biggest ones that I can think of right now. He was one of the conversationalists. Drew Sidora, if you know who Drew Sidora is, she was one of the housewives of Atlanta, and she also played in the TV show called The Game back in the day. She played as herself, Drew Sidora, and she's an amazing singer. And then who else? Dennis McKelvey, I think that's his last name. I don't know. His first name is Dennis, but if you don't know who he is, he's Portia Williams. I don't like the term baby daddy, but they have a child together, and she is one of the housewives of Atlanta too. If you don't know who Portia Williams is, but anyway, those were the four people that were on the panel. The lady from Put a Ring on It, she said that her and her husband went on their first date, and then 3 weeks later they were married, and they have been together ever since then. And I was just like, oh, okay, 3 weeks, huh? But just to add a little bit to it, they did know each other before the first date. Like, they had known each other via social media for years before the first date and actually meeting in person. So it was some sort of familiarity there. Familiarity. I don't know if I said it right, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. It was some of that there. They weren't complete strangers. And she was saying that they were connected through basketball, because she's a basketball coach, or used to be, or something like that. And he is a trainer. He's a trainer, a coaching trainer, something. But both of them are connected through basketball, basically. I don't know if I have that correct, but the connector is basketball. So I thought that was interesting. Like, 3 weeks after the first date, they got married. But like, they seem happy, and I don't know. But all of them was talking about, the conversation tonight was around relationships and making them work. And then Tyler was talking about how him and his wife, Miracle Watts, well, not wife, they're getting married, they're engaged right now. His fiance, Miracle Watts, like, he was saying how it wasn't a surface level thing. They were not connected through like the physical, but more so they had the same vision. And that's what really connected them. So they started out as friends, grew a connection through friendship, and then went from there. And that's one nice looking couple, if I must say so myself. So yeah. And then what was the other person's story? Oh, Drew. She's going through a divorce with her husband of 10 years, Ralph. And so Tyler and I can't think of the lady name. Her first name started with an A. I think her last name is Alan Rosario or something like that. I don't know. But she's like good friends of the host, the one who were going to celebrate, whose party it was. And her and Tyler, they were on the side of being in relationships, happy relationships. And then Drew and Dennis, of course, Drew is going through a divorce. Dennis is no longer with Portia, and they was both talking about what they learned through Drew, her marriage ending in a divorce, and Dennis saying that he fumbled with Portia because he didn't make his intentions clear with her, and that's ultimately what caused the relationship to end. So yeah, it was just interesting to hear the perspectives, from both sides or whatever. And that's how the night went. It was just so nice being in a room full of entrepreneurs, people who are out there getting it, living their dream, living their purpose. Tyler is an actor. The Rosario lady, I think that's her last name. She's I forget what it is she's doing, but I think it's still dealing with basketball. Drew, of course, is singing, and then she was on a press tour with the host. And Dennis, he's a entrepreneur. He owns, like, I think some hot dog trucks or something like that are very lucrative. I don't know, but yeah. So it was just inspiring to be in a room full of people doing what they love, especially the host, because she's like has her own talk show. And I don't know if that's something that I would do one day, but it's like I want to have meaningful conversations with people. So it was inspiring to see her do that. And she's been at it for 10 years and having success with it. And then everybody else in the room had something going on. It was a lot of like reality stars and celebrities in the room. Johnny Blaze was there. Girl can sing. And I did not know she could play the piano. But yeah, she was there doing that. And Mimi Foss was in the building selling her she's somebody else from Love and Hip Hop, selling her skincare stuff. They had you could get massages there. I got me one. A guy named Marcus gave me a massage, and it was lovely. I mean, it was great. So it was just a nice time out. The place that the party was at, it was just beautiful. Met a lot of couples like who have longevity. It was just inspiring to be in a room full of love and celebration and people own their stuff. Like I'm very glad I had the invite. I'm glad I was able to get out of the house. I'm glad I was able to enjoy. I'm glad that the person that was my date and was good company. So I think I hit everything I wanted to hit with talking about the event. So now I'm going to move into talking about why I think that I might be the problem when it comes to dating and being coupled. Okay, so if you're new here, you might not know, but if you've been here since I started this consistency channel, then maybe you have seen in one of the videos where I mentioned that the type of guy that I want. I named some things. One thing was I wanted the person to be musically inclined, either can sing or know how to play an instrument. Then I said I wanted them to be good with their hands and smart, intelligent. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that. Good character, integrity. And I don't know if I mentioned them having to be funny and have a sense of humor. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's one of the things too, because I like to laugh. I love to laugh. So I don't know if I mentioned that, but anyway, I say all that to say this guy is that. He can carry a tune. I won't say sing, but he probably can sing, but I'll just say carry a tune because I only heard a little bit of him doing that tonight. And that's how I describe myself. People will say that I can sing, but I describe myself as just being able to carry a tune. Like if you need somebody to harmonize with, I'm your person. And it's gonna sound good now, harmonize. It's gonna sound good. It's gonna sound like, we've been singing for years if we get together and harmonize. And so he does that, and he's learning to play the bass. I think that's what he said. And then he's a comedian. I think he might be introverted, but I like that he is like he doesn't meet a stranger, and that kind of, I feel like that balances my personality out, because I've been getting better with doing it as I get older, but I'm not the type of person that just go and start conversations with people like that. And I like that he does that, because most of the people that I talked to tonight probably want to talk to if he wasn't the one initiating conversation. And then he's very smart, very smart. On our way back, I asked him this question, and he just spit out the answer like it was something science related. I'm just like, intelligence is sexy, y'all. It's so sexy. And then throughout the night, we kind of stepped away from everybody and was in this closet. this walk-in closet, just having a conversation, answering questions from relationship cards, which the host had all of her like merchandise there, and that was part of it, the relationship card. So we was talking to each other. Then we came up on like some back and forth about our dynamic over the years since we've known each other. And I just like being able to, I like when I'm able to have deep conversations with people, not just surface level stuff, like someone actually taking the time to get to know me, somebody that can relay back to me with their words that they see me, they've observed me. So I like that. Like if any man that I've ever been involved with, if they don't know me beyond like surface level stuff, it's because they were the ones not trying to make a connection, a deeper connection with me for whatever reason. Because I'm always going deep, and I always hold space for people to go deep with me. Like, and by that I mean, when I say I'm always going deep, like I'm always asking questions to get to know somebody more. And if I'm asking the questions and those questions are not being answered, I'm still getting my answer because I'm observing them, I'm watching them, I'm listening to what they do say, even when they're not directly answering whatever question it is that I'm asking of them. Like, I know people. I love knowing people. I love paying attention to people. So anybody that hasn't known much of me beyond surface level is because they didn't want to. But anyway, back to me talking about why I believe I am the problem when it comes to dating and being coupled. He also was we was having a conversation, and he brought up how like he hurt his back fixing his car, and I was like, fixing your car, like with your hands, you was under the hood doing things to make it right? He was like, oh yeah. I was like, let me find out you good with your hands. I like that. I really do. I like that. And it's just like all the stuff that I'm attracted to in a man. Like, he check all those boxes, and I'm just like, what's the hold up? Like, what? I don't know why. Well, I do partly. Like, the older I get, the more I hate taking the risk to be attached to someone to the point of where I feel like I will lose myself or risk hurting myself if things don't go well. So that's part of it. But I also am not fully afraid of that either. So that's something that I still got to, I don't know, I got to write it out, journal it out. Definitely got to talk to God about it. So, yeah. That's like, I got to get to the bottom of that, because I don't like, it's all there. It's all there. And then for him to be like, I think this event would be dope for you to go to because the people that are there or that we're celebrating, they do what I can see you doing. They do what I know you like to do. So I feel like this will go. And then the night when he walked me to my door, there was some trash at the door, and he picked it up and took it to the dump for me. Like, come on, acts of service. So yeah, I don't know. I got to get to the bottom of that other part of what it is with me being the issue. But yeah. So anyway, that is really what I have for the most part. I did do a full body, like 1-2 to kind of show off the full outfit. I didn't get to dress it up and down like I wanted to fully, because I don't know what it is, but I always start like 2 hours before it's time for me to go, and still leave the house not fully done up like I do, but done up like I would like to be done. But it still was enough to like people like, oh, I like what you got on. I like, how you, but and I don't do it for the compliments, but I do it for me, going for the feeling that I'm trying to achieve when I step out and be amongst people. But being able to hear people say that it did what I intended for it to do is the extra cherry on top. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna even act like, I don't enjoy hearing the compliments. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna stitch that video, the end here. I don't know. I haven't decided. But you will know if it is, if you make it this far and you want to fast forward. I don't know. Outside of that, if I don't stitch it to this video, it'll be a short. So yeah. So that was my little story time for today. Yeah. If you're new here, my name is Latrice. Here's where I think out loud, reflect honestly, which I feel like I did tonight, talking about how I believe I am the issue when it comes to dating. And I also name patterns that keep us stuck. If anything here on my channel resonates with you, please feel free to take what you need. And if it doesn't, please feel free to leave it. As always, share your thoughts on the video in the comments. If you are new here and are not subscribed, please subscribe if you feel like we're aligned. Also, there's this thing called hype button, hype points or something on here. If you can find that button, I don't know how you locate it. I haven't seen it for myself on my channel. I've seen it on other people's channel, but if you find it, please hit the hype button as well. And that's all I have, and I will see you all tomorrow.